Welcome to the deep dive. So, you've shared some really interesting material with us about communication and design. They're a digital marketing agency.
That's right. We've got their stuff here.
And what we want to do today in this deep dive is really get a handle on who they are, what drives them, especially looking at their marketing playbook and this growth portal concept.
Yeah, and also unpack their thinking on web design, SEO, that kind of thing.
Exactly. The mission here is just to pull out the key bits, the important nuggets, so you walk away with a clear picture, without getting bogged down in too much detail.
Makes sense. Let's get into it.
Okay, so starting with their background.
Yeah, it's quite interesting how they frame their history. It's clearly important to them. Founded officially in 2008, but the roots go back even further.
Right, the founder teaching himself coding from YouTube and that father-son consulting thing from 2006.
And what really jumps out is that early focus on digital solutions. I mean, back then, so many businesses were still all about the yellow pages, newspaper ads.
Yeah, definitely. So they were kind of ahead of the curve there. It shows a certain foresight, right? Seeing where things were headed.
Absolutely. And then they formally became Communication and Design Inc.
Yeah.
in 2016, but they seem to really cling to that family business mindset.
Treating every client's business like it's their own, that's the line they use.
And here's something interesting. They talk about the 2020 lockdowns not as a hurdle, but actually a time when they grew quite a bit.
Yeah, I saw that. The founder apparently went deep into direct response marketing during that time, and they got some, well, pretty specific results for clients.
Those results are quite eye-catching, like a 43% ROI increase for a furniture store in a small town,
Wow.
and email campaigns selling out entire product inventories. Those aren't just vague claims.
No, they're very concrete. And the founder getting on that copywriting.org list, 50 copywriters to watch, that points to a specific skill set driving things.
Definitely suggests a strong foundation in persuasive communication.
And they also make a big deal about keeping clients long term,
Yeah.
some since 2008, right?
Yeah, they position that as sort of proof of reliability, proof they get results that stick, unlike maybe agencies who just build a template site and vanish.
So if you put all that together, what's the takeaway message about who they are?
I think it suggests a company that's adaptable, learned from experience, and seems genuinely invested in seeing their clients succeed over the long haul. Sticking around in digital marketing since 2008 isn't easy.
True. That family business vibe probably translates to a more personal touch compared to maybe some huge faceless agency.
That seems to be the implication. They talk about local businesses deserving world-class digital marketing, and that their success is personal. They explicitly say they avoid cookie-cutter approaches.
Which leads us nicely into this marketing playbook they offer.
Right, the playbook. It's positioned as a free resource, basically designed to help businesses stop guessing and start growing.
The idea being you get clarity on your marketing without needing like super expensive software or hiring a whole internal team.
Exactly. They say it shows you which channels are actually driving revenue, where you might be missing out, and how to, spend your budget smarter.
And it's not just raw data, right? They emphasize turning that complex information into a clear, actionable plan that's tailored specifically to your business.
Yeah, it's about providing a practical roadmap, not just dumping numbers on you. They say that they analyze all your digital channels, find what's working, what's not, and those hidden gems, those opportunities.
And I notice they explicitly say there's no pressure to hire them afterwards. You can take the playbook to your own team or another agency.
Which is a pretty confident move. It suggests they believe the value they provide up front will speak for itself. It lowers the barrier to entry.
It also seems smart how they address that potential awkwardness.
Yeah.
Business owners sometimes feeling a bit embarrassed about their current marketing setup.
Right. They offer a judgment-free consultation. The whole promise seems to be get a clear path forward, stop second-guessing, stop wasting money on stuff that doesn't work.
It definitely feels like a trust-building exercise. Giving value first, demonstrating expertise, rather than just a hard sell.
Precisely. It's a way to start that conversation.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit to the growth portal. This seems to be their philosophy on websites.
Yeah, and they kick it off with a pretty strong statement. Just having a nice website isn't good enough anymore. In fact, it could be costing you money.
That'll get your attention.
It does. But their logic follows. They see the website as your hardest working salesperson. So their growth portals, that's their term for the websites they build, come with money-making tools built in as standard.
So it immediately reframes the website from just an online presence to an active business tool.
Exactly. Not just a brochure, but something designed to generate revenue.
They talk about how quickly people judge a business online based on its site,
Yeah, and they list what a strategic website should do. Solve visitor problems, answer questions before they're even asked, make it super easy to take the next step.
like buying or calling or signing up for emails.
Right. Plus, being easy to find SEO, obviously, and actually converting visitors. It's about blending good design with effective marketing and SEO.
It sounds quite comprehensive. And they lean on their experience here too, right? Building sites since 2008 across different industries.
That long track record definitely adds weight. They mentioned clients get a whole team, designers, developers, photographers, marketers.
And the founder doing the copywriting.
Yeah, suggesting a very integrated approach, not just siloed tasks, everyone working together on the site.
They also tackle that common thought, maybe I just need a website redesign.
But they pivot. They say what you really need is a simple system that brings customers to you. And that's what they call the growth portal.
Shifting from just looks to actual business outcomes.
Yes, exactly. They call it an always-on revenue system.
How does it supposedly work?
They break it down into key functions: generating leads, automatically nurturing those leads, systematically converting them into customers, and scaling your reach.
So it's designed to automate a lot of that sales and marketing process through the website itself.
That's the idea. They contrast it with a basic website being just a pretty business card. The growth portal is meant to be your best salesperson.
And they bring up building trust, handling objections, basically positioning the business as the clear choice online, especially now when customers are savvy and, let's face it, have short attention spans.
It really underscores how much web design has changed. It's not just aesthetics. It's deep into user psychology, search behavior, the whole customer journey online. The growth portal seems like their attempt to bundle all that strategic thinking into one offering.
And they also dive into specific website flaws, particularly those that hurt SEO. They use a great analogy.
Yeah, the two stores comparison. One bright and welcoming, the other dusty and messy.
And they cite that FedEx Office stats 76% of people choosing where to shop based on the storefront's appearance. It really lands the idea of the website as your digital storefront.
It's a powerful analogy because everyone gets it instantly. Online, that first impression is crucial. And since discovery increasingly happens via Google, social media, referrals, your website isn't static. It's a living, breathing entity.
Needs constant care. And they list these 5 critical website failures that Google hates. What's first?
The 404 error epidemic. Broken pages, they frustrate visitors, obviously, but they also signal problems to Google and can drag down your rankings. They even reference Stanford guidelines about site credibility being hit by this.
Makes sense. What's next?
Link decay. Similar idea, broken links pointing nowhere. It tells users and search engines that the site is neglected.
Okay, so keeping things tidy and functional is key. What else?
Navigation chaos. If your site is confusing and hard to navigate, people leave quickly. That's a high bounce rate.
And Google tracks bounce rate
Right.
as a signal of site quality.
They do. High bounces can negatively impact your rankings. Then they get into SEO foundation failures. This is more technical stuff. Things like proper keyword research and actually using those keywords correctly. Writing good meta descriptions, little summaries in search results. Using headings properly for SEO.
Making sure the content actually matches what people are searching for.
Exactly. Search intent. And crucially, having a mobile-first design. Making sure it works flawlessly on phones.
That's a big one these days.
Yeah.
So much browsing happens on mobile.
Huge. If your site is bad on mobile, you're losing visitors, and Google penalizes you for it in rankings. It's non-negotiable now.
And the last failure they mentioned.
Accessibility oversights. Making sure the website is usable by everyone, including people with disabilities. Google is apparently looking more closely at this now for rankings.
So it's not just an ethical consideration. It actually impacts your visibility and user experience broadly.
Absolutely. Ignoring it means losing potential customers and potentially ranking lower.
And tying this all together, they really push the need for regular website maintenance.
Yeah, it's not a one-and-done thing. They list keeping plugins updated, platform upgrades, content audits, ongoing keyword research, checking mobile responsiveness constantly.
They basically frame professional website management as a full-time job. Daily monitoring, updates, SEO tracking, staying on top of best practices, making sure Google is indexing everything correctly.
It underlines that a website needs continuous effort to perform well. Things change so fast. Online technical standards, SEO rules, user expectations, you have to keep up.
And they mention their own website audits as a service.
Right. Comprehensive checks covering technical aspects, SEO performance, content strategy, mobile optimization, and then they provide a custom roadmap for improvements.
Sounds like a thorough diagnostic tool to figure out where a site stands.
It does. It fits their overall approach, data-driven, holistic, and focused on finding weaknesses to improve performance.
So if we were to wrap this all up, what's the big picture on communication and design?
It really seems like they offer a very connected, results-focused package for digital marketing. They emphasize getting measurable results and building those long-term client partnerships.
And the Marketing Playbook and the Growth Portal web design idea are prime examples of that philosophy in action.
Exactly. They seem to genuinely understand the hurdles local businesses face and position themselves as the partner who can deliver that high-level marketing expertise, maybe without the headaches sometimes associated with bigger agencies.
Their history, the results they showcase, the free resources,
Yeah.
it all points towards a company really trying to deliver tangible value and be a growth partner.
Yeah, that seems to be the core message.
Well, this has been a really useful deep dive. Definitely sheds light on their approach. It makes you think, doesn't it? Considering how vital that digital storefront and marketing strategy are, what's maybe one thing you could do right now to check if yours is really pulling its weight, working for you, not against you?
That's a good question to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for handing in.